War rages across the mortal realms. New alliances are formed while others lie shattered, and the dominant powers ever seek their next conquest. While this and countless other battles rage on, one fact is becoming clear. The season of war has begun. This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and the FLGS Partners, Warfire Minis, and X-Planet. Baron of Dice is the exclusive dice supplier for Season of War. Take a look through their incredible designs or even get your own custom dice made.
Hello and welcome to Season of War and another game of Age of Sigmar 4th edition. My name's Jordan. I'm joined by Ryan tonight.
Hey, how you doing?
And Ryan, we have a hotly contested matchup from the last edition. Actually, maybe not hotly contested, but it was a potentially polarizing matchup before when you had the mortal wounds from the elves into the ghosts, but it's going to be interesting to see. There's obviously lots of changes, so seeing how things fall in the balance in this edition will be interesting. But jumping into things, the mission we're playing today is the Jaws of Gallet. So we've got 5 objectives on the table. It's hold 1, hold 2, hold more for storing. You get 2 points for each of those, and then 4 for your battle tactic. The twist with this one is when you determine the underdog at the start of the round, after the underdog's turn, they can choose to remove 1 objective on the battlefield, which is a little bit different in terms of the timing and sequencing that this mission used to be, so it'll be interesting to see how that affects things and it plays out. But Ryan, do you want to start off by taking us through your army?
Sure, absolutely. So as Jordan mentioned, I'm Nighthaunt today, and you'll notice to start with, I have 2 black coaches. And the main reason I went that is one of the new battle formations is the Procession of Death, and it gives black coaches a 6-inch aura of 5-up ward for all infantry. So basically I just have 2 Death Stars of 5-up ward, which is pretty spicy on Ethereal Ghosts. So we're going to see if that's good. It sounded good to me. Other than that, I have 2 big blocks of Bladegeist Revenants, 20 each. I also have a unit of 10 Reapers and 8 Mirrormorn Banshees, which still have an aura of, if you cast spells on us, you may hurt. So that's pretty good. And they also hit pretty hard. They hit harder, a little bit harder than before, which we'll see if that becomes relevant. My general is Reikenor. He's kind of the same, but now when he hurts himself, he gets an extra wizard level, so 2 cast wizard, which we'll see if that comes into play big time. Other than that, I have an executioner, and then I also have a guardian of souls over here who has an aura of +1 to wound just like before, but he has to be in combat now to do it, which I don't know if that'll end up being a big problem or not. We'll figure that out. As for artifacts and heroic traits, my guardian of souls has the Ruler of the Spirit Host, which lets him once per game bring a unit back at half strength. Ideally one of these units of Bladegeist Revenants. And then my Executioner Lord, he's got a once per game 12-inch bubble of +1 attack. So he can steroid my army pretty hard. Other than that, I went with the Endless Spell Lore with the Purple Sun, the Maelstrom, the Chains, and the Gravetide. And I went with the built-in spell lore for the Ghosts, which is kind of cool because the main unlimited spell is -1 to wound on one of my units, so I could potentially have a couple units with -1 to wound on them on top of the 5-up board, on top of the 4-up ethereal, which could add up real fast.
Nice, yeah, very good defensive buffs, obviously. But hoping to push through those, we've got the Lumineth Realmlords today. I am playing the battle formation of the Cenari Council. This gives all my Cenari heroes +1 to cast when I'm spellcasting, and I have a bunch of those heroes, so hopefully worthwhile. And to take you through those heroes, I have the Cenari Enlightener. Then I also have a Cenari Calidrave who has the Silver Wand artifact for an extra cast. And then I have a Cenari Lore Seeker who's already deployed outside my deployment on an objective, and he has the heroic trait of Perfect Strike, so once per battle, he can do D3 +3 mortal wounds at the start of combat. And then my 4th hero in here is the Light of Altharion. Obviously a favorite character for a lot of people, and it'll be interesting to see how he does this edition, though he stayed largely the same. Otherwise though, the army is a pretty basic kind of vanilla Venari build. I've got 2 units of 20 Wardens who can potentially fight first if you charge them. Then I have a unit of 20 Sentinels, a unit of 5 Dawn Riders, and then a unit of 5 Blade Lords to protect my heroes. And then for my lores, both for the Manifestation and spell lores, I just chose the lores of Hysh, the Lumineth ones, so just to test those out today. And then I chose for the season rules to give my Sentinels priority target, so they'll be able to get +1 hit and wound against anything in your general's regiment.
And as for me, I went with the option to give my 1 unit Bladegeist Revenant here +1 rend against infantry, which you seem to have 1 or 2 of.
A little bit, yes. Yeah. Well, here I was 4 drops because of all my heroes. Ryan, you came in at just 2, so it is going to give you choice of who goes first.
I am actually going to give you first turn, mainly because I don't think I can reasonably do any battle tactics until you move a little closer. And yeah, so I guess we'll go into Lumineth turn 1.
Alright, so for my battle tactic, I'm going to go with Seize the Center, so I just have to have 2 units within 3 inches of the center of the battlefield and not be in combat. For my Facet of War this turn, I'm going to go with Shining Company because I'm not going to be on offense very much, so might as well get my defense is up, so I'll be -1 to hit on all my Venari stuff. And then in my hero phase, my Enlightener is going to become a Shrine Guardian and jump in my terrain. Then she's going to try and cast Speed of Hish. I will miscast that, but because she's in the terrain, I get to reroll once per phase.
Oh, you got so lucky.
And that goes off with an 8. I'm going to try and split that spell with her ability. I will, so I'll get to put that on 2 units. And I'll put that on one of my units of Wardens and my unit of Dawn Riders. And then my Enlightener is going to try and cast Protection of Hish, which I will get off on an 8 because I get the +1 to cast. And then I should have done this in a different order, but I am going to cast the Twin Stones with my Calidrave, and he's actually going to use his ability to automatically cast them on an 8. Now, it would have been great to have that before I was casting, but
it's not like
better late than never.
Spell,
exactly.
so
and then my Calidrave is going to cast Protection of Hish, and that goes off. Then my Enlightener for their second spell is going to cast Ethereal Blessing. That'll go off with a 14. So I'll put that on the Wardens. Then my Lore Seeker will have my last spell cast, and he's going to try and cast the Sanctum of Amtok, which he'll get with a 9. And I think that's it for my hero phase, so I'm going to jump into movement. I am now going to spend a command point to use at the double on my Calidrave just to get him right up in the center to give my army a 5-up ward. And that's it for my movement phase.
Well, I guess I'll do a redeploy. I think I'm going to do it on my Executioner Lord to get him closer, just so I can guarantee the charge on my turn. So he's going to move up
5 inches. Alright, then in my shooting phase, my Sentinels are going to open fire and shoot at your 1 unit of Blade Dice. And they are in your General's Regiment, so I'll get the bonuses for targeting them. I do have to use the longer range shot, which makes me -1 hit with my Sentinels, but that hopefully balances it out. So I'm going to have 40 shots. So 3s. And that'll be 18 at Rend 1, 1 damage. Rend doesn't matter, but...
That's actually terrifying. 4-up Ethereal saves. And then 5-up wards. You kill 6 guys. That hurt.
Starting to fell ethereal ghosts from a safe distance, the Lumineth Realmlords strike the first small blow and set their shields in preparation for an enemy charge.
And that's it for my shooting phase, it for my turn, because no more charging, no fighting in combat or anything. So storing this up, I will store hold 1, hold 2, hold more. I will store my battle tactic because I have 2 units within 3 of the center and they're not in combat. So 10 points starting off for turn 1. So as much as I could have hoped for, and now just bracing for impact.
Yeah.
Though I thankfully got my ward save up and started to get a couple shots in.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be tough for me to crack your army. Like, you're tankier than me by quite a bit, and I'm tanky.
Oh, I guess I do have 1 ethereal unit. You've got an ethereal army though.
That's true.
And my Lore Seeker is set up. I actually forgot to do his extra cast because this gives him +1 to his power level. So he could have cast my other endless spell or something. But it is what it is. Realized it after. But he's sitting there holding down the 1 objective. So yeah, trying to make it hard for you to store more also is one of the big things. But,
yeah, which I think is impossible on my first turn.
Yeah, we shall see. But we'll just go into Nighthaunt turn 1.
Okay, so at the start of my turn, I'm going to go with Take Their Land. This terrain piece seems takeable, so that should be doable. Going into rest of hero phase stuff, Rakenor is going to snuff out a corpse candle and hurt himself. So he's going to now be a 2-cast wizard at +1 to cast. We're going to start with a rally on the Bladegeist Revenants. So it's 6 every 4 up. 6. That was a fantastic rally. The unit's back to full strength. Rakenor is going to start with a Shade Mist, which he gets with an 11.
Try to unbind it. I do not. The opposite of what I needed.
All right, we're going to put Shade Mist on the Bladegeist Revenants, shockingly enough, for -1 to wound against all attacks. And then for his second spell, so we'll go for Shackles for an 11 again.
Oh, we'll try it. No, you got it. A little better.
So on a 2+, so we'll start with the Horse guys. Fails. And then we'll do the Spear guys. Also fails. Excellent. All right, final spell from my other guy. Yeah, let's go for the Purple Sun that's green. And he succeeds on a 9. Are you in range?
My endless spell, yeah, put me in range now, so I will get to try and unbind. And I get a 12 that time.
That's so disappointing then. The Purple Sun's so cool. Oh well. So it's the end of my hero phase and going into movement.
Don't forget you can get access to 4 extra battle reports every month by supporting the channel through our YouTube membership. Hit the join button below the video to learn more.
All right, so that's the end of my movement phase. All right, going into shooting. Well, we'll start with the Black Coach over there. It's 10-inch range, so on 4s. 6s auto wound. Other one hits on 3s. Yep. You have 2 saves. Ren 2.
Looking for 6s. I'll save one of them.
2 damage.
And 4 up wards. We'll save 1, so take 1 damage.
Oh, that's better than nothing, I guess. All right, and the other one, we'll go into your Spearman, I guess. 2 attacks on 4s.
-1 hit because of Shining Company.
Okay. 1 misses, 1 hits, and then 3s. No, it fails. That's the end of that. So that's my shooting phase.
All right, I am going to spend a command point here for covering fire with my Sentinels.
Okay.
And you set it up so the closest target was the blade dice, so I couldn't snipe your hero. So I'll be shooting at them. So we'll have 16 shots going through.
Hey, 4 up saves. Oh, that was really bad.
So we'll kill 6 blade dice in the end.
Which is real bad. I guess it's the end of shooting. Going into charges. Impact hits go into the horses, I guess. 3.
We will have wards. I suffer 3, you kill a horse.
And then I'm going to try and charge with the Black Coach. I can go nowhere. But I'm going to actually reroll it because I don't have a use for other CP. So, 11. All right. And Impact Mortals also go into the Horse Boys. For none. All right. I got to give out my Wave of Terror abilities. So we'll do -1 to hit on your Spearman, because I think that's going to be the heaviest hitter here. And then Strike Last has to go on these Spearmen here because that's from the hero. So with my Lord Executioner, he's going to reduce your attack characteristic by 1 on a 2-up. Yeah, so on a 2-up, failed.
Well, with Wall of Blades, my units of Wardens might get to fight first. So the unit in the center on a 4-up, no. The other unit, caught, also fails. So they will both, neither will get strike first.
Yeah, I'm going to use my once per game +1 attack to everything within 12 inches. I guess I'll fight with this coach first. I think I'm going to attack the horses. 5 attacks from the Wraith on, I guess, 4s. 3s. 1 save at 2 rend.
5 ups. Goes through.
2 damage. On 4 or 5s now from the Spectral Claws. 6s are auto wounds. So that's it from there. These are no rend, 1 damage.
Save them both.
Okay, and then 8 more from the horsies. 2 auto wounds.
1 more goes through. So that'll be 3 damage from the coach, and I'll make my wards. I save 1, take 2 damage.
All right.
And then I'll get to choose 2 units to fight with because of lightning reactions, and I'll choose the Wardens and Eltharion.
Yeah, I think I just made a mistake.
So I'll have 15 Wardens here going into your purple Black Coach,
Okay.
and 5 going into your gray Black Coach. And I'll use all that attack with these guys to bring them back to their base profile.
Splitting their attacks, the Central Wardens deal 7 damage to the purple coach and 3 damage to the gray coach.
And then Eltharion is going to fight the Blade Geists.
Okay.
So the Fang Sword, 2s and 3s. Will be 2, rend 3.
Oh,
3 damage each. The Selenari Blade. And the Selenari Blade will miss, so that's it.
so you just kill 3, which could have been much worse, but it's still heartbreaking. That's a ton of attacks going.
Next to fight, the other black coach deals just 3 damage to the Dawn Riders, which is just as disappointing as the first one. The Dawn Riders then deal 3 more damage to the purple coach, then 1 more of the cavalry falls to the Grimghast Reapers.
So that's the end of that. And now we got to go over here.
And I will use all-out defense here on the Wardens.
Okay.
The Executioner attacks the Wardens, taking 2 elves down. Then the Blade Geists fell another 9.
And that's it for all the normal engagements. So fighting last is my Wardens. I've got 9 dice left, and they'll put all their attacks into the Blade Geists.
Man, I wish I rolled that 2 up for the half-year attacks.
So I'll be 3s and 4s here.
And remember, you're -1 to wound.
Yeah, okay, so 5s. So we got 6 mortals and 3 saves.
I save 2, so we have 7. And I make 3, so you kill 4 more Blade Geists.
As the undead phantoms fully engage their living foe, the Nighthaunt send many elven spirits to the realm of death, but they are still met with more resistance than expected.
Alright, so that's my turn. I don't feel it went super well. There's a couple things that went well. I made a long charge with the coach. I don't know if that ended up being worth it. It did stop you from probably just like one-shotting the other coach. Where things kind of went bad is I failed my 2-up reduce your attacks by half, so that probably cost me a couple Blade Geists. But the more important painful one was with this coach right here. He needed to roll 6-inch charge to get the -1 armor save onto these guys. And I rolled a 5, which meant I couldn't put it on them, and then my impact mortals killed 1 horse, which means you pulled them out of an inch, so it means I could not put the -1 save on anything, which that was pretty heartbreaking. The other thing that was kind of painful was all 3 of my kind of hero attacks, the 2 wraiths on the black coaches and my executioner, all missed 4 out of 5 of their attacks, which meant my output was a lot lower than I'd planned, and then couple that with the fact that you picked up 6 Blade Geists on their way in, it just meant I didn't do as much damage as I had hoped. I don't think I'm in the worst possible position, but it's kind of in a dicey spot.
Between the Eltharion fighting, the Sentinels using covering fire, it did, like you said, take enough down that also with the Wardens surviving and fighting, we did deny the battle tactic.
Yeah, that's big. And I just didn't have the movement to get onto this objective without just basically saying, I can't fight you this turn. Because the only thing that could
You would have had to tail back your Blade Dice.
Yeah, and that would have put them outside of the 5-up ward aura, and it also would have meant I would have done like half as much damage, and it's just like, I want the points, but I can't afford to not do anything to you and then just let you kill me back. But all in all, I think you did significantly more damage to me than I did to you, unfortunately. And that's why it puts me in kind of a bad position, because now it's your turn, or it might be your turn, I suppose.
I guess with that, we'll jump into priority for round 2.
I roll 6.
I roll a 1. It's your choice, Ryan.
So I'm going to take the turn. I know normally it's not as much of a good thing in this, but my reasoning on this seems to make sense in my brain. And the reason is that because I'm the underdog, at the end of my turn, I get to delete one of your objectives, which obviously is going to be the one at the back. And then you won't be able to score it. Whereas if I put you first, you'll score it. On top of that, yes, I would love to be able to get a battle tactic off, but I think it's more important that I consolidate.
If you can take a big advantage on the board state.
Yeah, and that's the goal here. Get to a point, I mean, I can get the other Blade Geists in. Like I said, I'm going to take it and hope for the best.
All right, so we'll go into Nighthaunt, turn 2. And with you taking the turn, I'm going to choose Shining Company as my Facet of War again.
All right, going into my hero phase. I guess we start with Shackles damage. So we'll start with the horses. That's 3 mortal wounds.
Wards, we suffer all 3. You kill another horse.
All right, and then on the Wardens for 2.
Wards, we save 1.
Casting, I'm going to snuff out a candle again on Reikenor and hurt himself again. He will cast Shade Mist, which he gets with an 11.
We'll try and unbind. You got it.
Reikenor targets the Grimghast Reapers with Shade Mist, which reduces wound rolls that target them by 1.
So we're gonna cast Ray Storm, requires a 7. I get a 7 because I'm +1 to cast.
Let's try to unbind it. We will fail.
All right, so it's D3 damage for 2. So you have 2 mortals, and if I do any damage, it'll do another D3.
We'll suffer them both.
Okay, and then another D3 for 3 more.
I'll save 2 of those, so 3 mortals in total.
End of the hero phase and into movement. Into shooting. I'm going to shoot with the first black coach, which both missed. Second black coach. Yeah, I think I'm gonna shoot the horse. Also on 5s. 3s. Yep.
5s. Goes through.
2 damage.
Wards, you will finish off that last Dawn Rider. And then at the end of your shooting phase, I am going to go for covering fire with my Sentinels. Gonna have to shoot the blade dice again, but hopefully we can take them down. So 19 shots gonna hit you.
That was a pretty good roll though for my saves. I still think you're gonna wreck my unit. 5s. So you kill 4. All right, charging time. So we're gonna start with the purple black coach. Impact mortals for 2. Something tells me you're gonna.
And I'll suffer 1 of those.
Thanks to Wave of Terror, Nighthaunt units are able to charge while in combat, but Ryan clearly missed that it can only be used by 1 unit per turn. So the ghosts are cheating more than just death here.
All right, so those are my charges, and then now it's time to debuff you. Strike last will go on Eltharion. -1 to save. Yeah, we'll put it on the Spearman.
At the end of your charge phase, I am going to spend 2 points to counter charge.
Oh yeah, I figured that would be the case.
Yeah, with my Lore Seeker. We'll make a sitch, so he's going to be in combat.
So we're going to put the -1 attacks on Eltharion on a 2-up. Yes.
Then for myself, I'll get to see if either of my Warden units get to strike first. We'll start with the unit in the middle. They do. The unit on the left does not.
Okay.
And then I also am going to use my once per game ability with my Lore Seeker for the perfect strike. So he's going to do D3 + 3 mortal wounds to the black coach for 4.
I need to make 3 6-ups here. I did not.
We take down the black coach. And then I'll activate the wardens and put all the attacks into your hero, the Guardian of Souls.
He's gonna try and live by giving himself a 5-up ward.
So it'll be 13 wardens into your Guardian of Souls, 1 into the blade dice and 1 into the Grimghast.
Okay.
4 to wound.
Okay,
So we'll have 4 mortals and 4 at no rend.
4 is the save. He fails all of them, and these are 1 damage each, so I have 7 saves to make. On 6s, or on 5s. 4 wounds, he lives with 1 wound.
No.
I think we're gonna attack with the Mirrormorn Banshees.
And I'll use an all-out defense on these wardens.
Okay.
The Banshees quickly eviscerate 8 wardens, leaving just 1 alive. The lone warden then kills 1 Bladegeist, and the Sentinels finish off 1 more, plus deal 2 damage to the Executioner. The last Bladegeist and Executioner then kill a combined 8 Sentinels, while the Grey Coach fails to deal any damage. Next, the Grimghast Reapers take down 3 Wardens, and the Bladegeists use all-out attack to kill 7 more.
Alright, so fighting last, Eltharion is going to try and kill the Executioner. So 3 attacks on 2s. So 3 damage so far, and that's it.
I save 1, so he's alive with 1 wound.
After their turn, the Nighthaunt are able to remove the enemy's home objective since they're the underdog. As they continue to crash against the elves, the waves of Nighthaunt cripple the enemy forces, as it seems none can stand against such reckless hate.
Alright, so that's my turn. I took 2 objectives, didn't score a battle tactic, but I think this was a phenomenal turn. Other than the Wraith on top of the Black Coach, I mostly was very successful with my attacks. The Mirrormorn Banshees popped off, even though they were hitting on 5s. They picked up like a ton of spearmen, which was great. Your saves over here were incredible. I can't believe those spearmen are still alive. I don't know how relevant they'll be with that few guys, but it's a miracle. You had 30 saves, and what'd you lose? 5 guys or something like that?
Seven
guys.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
4 of ethereal and then a 5 of ward save. Obviously,
it's pretty good.
Good defenses.
So I don't think that's gonna flip anything. The main story of the game here is that now your sentinels are tied up. Eltharion is struggling because I'm gonna keep making him -1 attack. So you're just kind of let's see what your elite sword guys can do, because you don't have a ton of other options.
Yeah, it's looking real bad here for Lumineth now after that, but we will keep fighting and jump into Lumineth Realmlords turn 2. Alright, so for my battle tactic here, I need to go for Slay the Entourage and kill that last Blade Dice Revenant. And then for spell casting, the Enlightener is going to start by casting Ethereal Blessing. And we'll get that on a 10. And I'll put that on the Blade Lords. And then she'll cast Overwhelming Heat, which fails. The Lore Seeker is then going to try and cast Speed of Hish, which he gets on a 9. And he'll put that on himself. Then the Enlightener is going to auto-cast on an 8, the Rune of Petrification.
Okay, so I'll try and stop that, which I stop at the 10.
Okay, then the last one's going to be Protection of Hish, which we will fail on a 7. So looking a little rough, but we're going to jump into movement now. I am to retreat my Sentinels and suffer 1 mortal wound. And then with being in combat, retreating and running, I'm not going to have any shooting this turn. So going right into charges, we'll go with the Blade Lords.
Right,
and we'll get a 9. And then into combat.
So we're going to do Staring Death in the Face on Eltharion successfully. So he's -1 attack and once again, 0 control score.
And then with lightning reactions, I'll activate both the Blade Lords and the Wardens in the center. So we'll go with the Wardens first, trying to finish off the Guardian of Souls. That'll be 2 mortals and 3 saves.
I need 4 6s here. I did not get them. So the Guardian of Souls goes down without ever having used the beacon.
And then my Blade Lords are going to split their attacks and they'll use the Perfect Strike. So I'll put 3 into the Blade Dice, 2 into the hero. So into the Blade Dice, there'll be 2 mortals and the hero will just be 1.
Okay, well the 1 mortal on the hero, he lives. And then you said 2 on the Blade Geist? He almost lives.
It was worth the gamble. We still got our battle tactic there, but that's it for my combats.
When the Lord Executioner fights, he only manages to slay a single Blade Lord.
And then Eltharion's gonna fight and put his attacks into the Banshees.
I am gonna give them a 5-up ward because they're just outside of range of the coach.
Eltharion attacks but just slays a single Banshee. Then the Black Coach finishes off the lone Warden.
And you'll take down that Warden.
Okay, so at end of combat, I get my Guardian of Souls back because I finished the unit off with the coach. And then I guess it's just me for everything else, right?
The Banshees use all-out attack but deal no damage. Then the Grimcast Reapers and Bladegeist Revenants finish off the remaining Wardens.
So as this end of combat, I get to revive a hero because the coach killed a unit off. So we only have 1 dead hero, so Guardian of Souls is coming back. Wholly within 12, and it can be set up in combat, but I don't see a compelling reason to do that. So it's gonna go back here.
Continuing to fight hard despite the odds, the Lumineth Realmlords have their backs against the wall. And although their hope is frail, they still cling to it fervently.
All right, so at the end of my turn, obviously been looking bad. We did a little bit in terms of killing a unit, killing a model. I think I probably lost more models than you did here.
Yep.
So not great, but we do still hold and score the 1 objective, and I get my battle tactic, so that will be 6 points, which does put me ahead 6 points. But obviously, as was the reason you took the double in that position,
Yep.
You're trying to play the long game and catch up in score over the course of the game.
So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, priority for round 3.
I got a 6. You
I
got
got a 6 also, but you win ties.
Oh, that's right. I win ties. I mean, I'm going to take it. There's no reason not to because I'm not punished anymore, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I will take the turn because I think this is just your death knell.
All right, so we will jump into Nighthaunt turn 3.
All right. Okay, so we'll start out with my battle tactic. I'm going to seize the center because I have no other good options just because of the way things are right now. And going into my hero phase. Rakenor is going to snuff out another candle, and then we will rally Rakenor. So 6 dice every 4 up. He heals only 1, but I guess that's better than nothing. Going into casting stuff. Rakenor is going to cast Shade Mist, which he fails. So Rakenor's second spell is going to be Spectral Lure, which he gets with a 7.
Try to unbind it. And I will with the 12.
All right, and then my Guardian of Souls will also cast Shade Mist, which he gets with a 6.
Unbound with a 7.
All right, no casting for me this turn. That's okay, I can live without it. And then that's the end of my hero phase.
All right, I will try and rally my Sentinels.
All right.
And I'll get 2 back.
I think that's my move phase. Going into shooting. The black coach is going to shoot at... We will put the Soul Reach the grasp into Eltharion from the black coach. On 4s. 1 hit, 1 wound.
Goes through.
2 damage. So that's it for my shooting phase.
All right, I will, do covering fire with the Sentinels, and I'm shooting at your Lord Executioner here.
Okay. I think I'm dead. I have 1 wound. But that's okay. He's lived longer than he probably should have.
So that'll be 10 shots landing.
4 up saves. I failed lots of them. 5 upwards. He's dead. He tried. He may be back, though. Going into charges. All right, then I gotta give out my gifts. The hero one, which is strike last, is gonna go on your Sentinels. We'll put the -1 to hit on Mr. Hero over there. Mirrorborn Banshees are gonna go first, and they're gonna do all-out attack. That's a lot of 6s. And then wounding you on 3s for 2 more. So you have 6 saves.
3 ups, 1 goes through.
Jesus. For 2.
And then he's gonna fight into the black coach.
Which is going to all-out defense itself. Not all-out defense, it's gonna do the 5 upward.
When Eltharion attacks, he deals 5 damage to the black coach.
And then with lightning reactions, the Blade Lords are gonna fight next and do perfect strike into the coach.
You have to get it with all of them.
So that'll be 4 mortal wounds into the coach.
5 ups. I make 3 of them.
I could have killed it.
Yeah.
Worth a try there.
Yeah, no, that was.
The black coach then retaliates and does the final 2 wounds to take down Eltharion.
Lore Seeker's gonna get to fight next into the Blade Dice. That'll be 1 attack.
I save it.
So no damage.
Let's fight with Rakenor.
Rakenor deals 12 damage to the Sentinels, leaving just 1 left alive. The Blade Geist then attack and take down the Lore Seeker.
And then that's it. That's the turn. End of combat. Because I slew something with the black coach, I get my Lord Executioner back, and
It should have been dead.
And he can be put into combat with anything that the black coach is in combat with.
Yeah, actually, like, obviously Ryan here, devastating turn. But, oh my gosh, things should have been just slightly different, and I actually still would have had a decent amount of play. You don't make the charge into the Sentinels, and they're still free to shoot on my turns. And then, I mean, Eltharion living would have been nice, but even just the black coach going down there, which it very well could have.
Yeah, I don't think your odds were great with that, though. You had 4 2-ups to do mortal wounds, and then I
just mean
up.
between the activation, like, with Eltharion too.
Yeah. So overall, I'd say my turn went really well. Like, I failed at casting, but there was not a single spell I really needed to go off. I just, the most important thing was making the long charge with Rakenor, which I did. I could have re-rolled it, but I didn't have to, which is nice. Picked up Eltharion. The Banshees didn't do as much this turn, but the coach finished him off nicely. Finally, that Wraith on top did something. And then because the Wraith killed something again, we get another hero back, which is fantastic. Battle tactics were kind of iffy this one. The only one I could do was seize the center, but fortunately I had the Guardian Souls revive, so I 2 units in the middle. Blade Geists just messed up a hero, and they were also able to tag the objective, so I control every objective on the field, and I don't see a path to you taking one back. So overall, it's a very good turn, and the irony here is I can now burn an objective, which I don't see a compelling reason to do. So we're going to not burn any objectives, and yeah, just say, like, I'm pretty happy with this turn overall.
Yeah,
everything performed.
Obviously devastating. One of the things I do regret not casting your turn actually and trying to get the Rune of Petrification out, because that's like one of my only damaging spells.
Yeah, and it gets around the Mirmorn Banshees.
Yeah,
because
it doesn't target.
Yes. Well, it's the summon would be what they could stop if they could stop, but they can't.
Oh, yeah.
They only can, it has to target one of my units. Yeah. So yeah, that could have been spicy, but I don't know if it would have changed a ton, but maybe you would have put that up in front of Reikenor.
That combination of that, I mean, maybe that finished off the Black Coach.
True.
Eltharion living was within the realm of possibility. You not making the big charge into the Sentinels.
Yep.
Coach going down. With a little luck, I actually could have still had a lot of play after this, but here it's looking pretty bad. Ryan, you do score 10 points.
Yes, I do.
But I think the only battle tactic that would be possible is do not waver, fight with 2 units, and have none killed. It's not even that reliable, but...
Yeah, that's tough to do.
Yeah, that would be the gamble to go for. But at most, Ryan, I would score 4 points on my turn, which actually would be notable. But either way, round 4 and 5, you're pulling ahead.
Yep.
I could burn 2 objectives, but for holding 2 and more, it literally wouldn't matter. If you had burned one on this turn, it might have, but...
No reason to, so it kind of puts me in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and we'll call the game there, because I'm just not going to be able to do enough. Then the score will probably end up being 40-20 at best, again, if I did a battle tactic, but... Yeah, painful one here for the Lumineth, Ryan, showing that the double turn, even taking that risk, of not having the battle tactic, still can be very viable and really pay off sometimes.
Yeah, I thought I was in trouble when you pushed all that infantry into the midboard with all your buffs on, but it's Nighthaunt have some teeth. From what I've seen so far is like Mirmorn Banshees, their damage profile is pretty good, but it's super swingy. Blade Geists are like the only thing in the army that really hits hard. Fortunately, I brought 40 of them, so it's okay. But I think this is a very different game if I brought a bunch of Chain Rasps or something instead. So I think Blade Geists are still very much stars. I really like the new coaches. They don't kill a ton, but in this sub-faction where they're given that 6-inch 5-up aura, that makes these ghosts just a little bit tankier. And the reviving heroes is great. I revived 2 heroes.
Yeah, that was very relevant. You brought both of your little heroes back.
Yeah, so that was really great. I don't know how I feel about the Guardian of Souls having to be in combat to use his aura, because I feel like in most cases that's suicide for him, and that's what we saw here.
Only here because I had the strikes first, or if you activate somewhere else, but
yeah,
I mean, you often want his debuff anyways.
Yeah, for the strike last or something, but he's very vulnerable. So it's kind of hit or miss on him. Maybe it's just better taking a second Executioner Lord and just having multiple of those 2-up half your attacks, because that's a really strong ability. And the Executioner Lord, he's not like a god in combat, but he does consistent output. And like I said, half attacks is just so good. He's the new Cruelgast, I think, because the new Cruelgast lost his -1 damage thing. It just ignores the damage point per phase, which is not worth it, but -1 attack to like a big unit is just so freaking good. Loving the new Reikenor. The main change for him that's notable is one, he can get to a 2-cast wizard by hurting himself, but also on the charge he gets that +1 damage, so instead of being 5 attacks at 2 damage, he's 5 attacks at 3 damage, which the Sentinels really enjoyed. Overall though, I think the army seems really good, and there's 3 sub-faction or battle things that are all very good. One lets you teleport once a turn, which is fantastic. Another one gives you the flee and charge, which is also fantastic. And then we've got this 5-up ward, which I think is great. It's also worth noting the charging in combat thing is awesome.
Yes, it was so good for repositioning, tagging other targets. And
reinvigorating my charge debuffs.
Yeah, making room for other units to come in.
Yeah, so I think new Nighthaunt is good. I think there's a bunch of units that are kind of really bad still in the army, like the Horse Ghosts. I can't remember what they're called, but they're still really bad. But as long as you got a lot of Blade Geists, I think you're set. And whether you play the Black Coach build or not, it's up to you. But I think this is still going to be the Blade Geist army. Their profile, I mean, on that charge with the +1 attack from the beacon, 4 attacks each on the charge. That's nasty with their profile.
Yeah, so. Very good. On the Lumineth side, obviously it was pretty vanilla here with a Venari build. Everything did all right early, like we said. Now couldn't really take the double of the full force of your army for 2 turns, and I crumbled under that. But that's nothing new. I'm super interested to try some of the different specialty units and whatnot. Even Dawn Riders now actually being true cavalry. Here I kind of had to throw them in the middle and offer them up to get hit. because, you know,
You needed the battle tactic.
for the battle, exactly. Yeah. But it would be nice to get, you know, you could get units of 10 of them on the charge, would be awesome. And I have a lot of like ways to get extra rend and different things that aren't relevant here, so that always hurts.
Yep, I felt the same. You had a lot of ethereal stuff this game.
Yep.
Like without that ethereal ability, I think I would have rolled you over a turn sooner.
I think one big thing was with the spell lore and manifestations, there really isn't much in the way of damaging spells here for Lumineth. So I would probably opt for one of the other manifestation lores, one of the generic ones.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
so
I would say take the one I had.
Yeah, or the one with Jaws in it. It has a couple of good options, and then you're getting some damage out. Because, well, here I was invested in spellcasting. Really, the spellcasting, they're not really critical spells
no.
by any means.
Well,
so.
I mean the 5-up ward, but you're going to get that out of the way. That's not in the lore.
And yeah, I just don't really have much options for damage. The Sentinels here were really good. Better to have more output out of them rather than the Mortals. So I liked that kind of a profile better.
They were the scariest thing on the table, I think.
In hindsight, I probably should have left them further back, but I wanted to get that round one of shooting. I wanted to be close enough so I could get the unleash, or not, the covering fire.
Which was big, because you did pick up 6 of them when I went to charge, and I think that...
Well, I mean, and over 2 turns, I should have had 12 dead right before your charge.
Yeah.
But that's obviously
there was an amazing rally that happened, and I'm quite happy with it.
Yeah, so... all in, it was a quick and bloody game, but a lot of action right from the start, so a good one here. Obviously in 3rd edition we saw Lumineth kind of really dominate this matchup a lot, but maybe with Papa Techless we can come back and get some revenge at some point. But guys, that'll be it for us here tonight. We'll wrap things up. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this battle report. And don't forget, if you want more content, you can check out our channel membership for an extra battle report every week. And it goes a long way towards helping to support the channel. But we appreciate your support either way. And we look forward to seeing you soon in another video.